The Member of Parliament for Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro. Lately, he has been busy doing the Alan Cash campaign. His name is Honorable Sylvester Tetteh. You're welcome to Point Blank. I'm doing well. So we're just, for those who don't know, we're just speaking Dangbe because he's formerly from Dingo Pram Pram. So what Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro, you have Dangbes there?
Of course.
Okay, what's the ethnic makeup of that constituency?
It's Dangbe Ga. The land is a Ga land, but of course, Dangbe, Dangbes has huge presence.
And
if you go to Tuba.
Also, Tuba. So Tuba is not under Kasua constituency.
No. That's Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro.
Oh, so you are on the left. If I'm traveling to Kasua, your constituency is on the left, or you're in the middle. After Wejagbawe, you are where?
No, so when you get to Tetteh Bridge, on the left side, then you start Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro. So you go to the Bojo Beach Road, through Aplaku, Bortianor, Kukrubite, Langwa, you come to Tuba to the Tobut. Then after SCC Junction, when you get to the Wager Dam, up to the Wager Dam is all part of Wager constituency. After the Wager, the Densu River, then you start where we call Kalabule. It's all part of Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro. Passes there through Galilea, Amanfro. Then you go to Tomefa, and the rest. That is.
So you're in Gas South.
Gas South municipality.
It means that the Wager spillage affected your constituency
completely.
This time around, the dam is warning people to move. Any success with that? Getting people out of the...
I think that residents who are on the line should clearly advise themselves. I mean, some people, those who live there, who had lived there for a very long time, will tell you warehouses have been sited today is all waterway. You know, when the dam was built, there's a buffer that has been reserved to contain the excess water or the spillage of the water
along the spillways.
But it's all been taken over. People had sold them, and people had bought and built houses there. Huge mansions on the waterway. So when it rains, then politicians are in trouble.
So if you want to remove these people, you have to compensate them because they have legitimate title to the land, even though they should not have been there.
I can tell you, I went to one community meeting, and I was talking about the issue of documentation in that area. The entire area don't have it. No permit,
so
no single permit. And one man owned up and said, yes, I'm the only one who has a permit here because the then municipal chief executive or those in charge were my friends. And I managed to get it.
Wow.
And he knew that what he did was wrong. But the rest of the people there don't have any documentation.
But do they genuinely know that they are not supposed to be there?
They know. As we speak, when the flooding occurs and the water goes down, people still build.
And waiting for...
Yeah, they build.
Because, so it's just a disaster in waiting.
It's a disaster in waiting. And of course, there are people who are not in the waterway. But because of the activities of people who are building in the waterway, in the buffer area, it now affects people
so the water
who are
comes
not...
up.
It comes up. And it affects people who ordinarily need not to be affected.
There's another issue of desilting the mouth of the river so that it can enter the sea easily. How far is that?
Well, that one, as I speak to you, I'm working with NADMO Hydro Department to ensure that when they spill the water from the dam, it should go all the way into the sea. And I tell you, when the two openings are done, Fana, where recently we had that disaster, obviously that community will be washed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
It should not be there.
It should not be there. That community ought not to have been there in the first place. So when they are going to spill, they always protest because the kind of spilling they will do will affect residents there.
What's the solution out of this?
Well, you see, I think that when matters of planning, fiscal planning, and things of this nature are left for politicians to decide on the spot, that is a problem we have in this country. I'm not an expert in planning. I'm a member of parliament.
Leave it for the technocrats.
Technocrats. But how many of them have been interviewed on your show? We don't get to hear of them. Nobody knows them. But because we go to canvass for vote, let flooding occur today, I'm the first person to be called. And I'm the first person the media will run to.
And you wear the Wellington boot and
go there. You sympathize.
If you like, don't go.
Your head is chopped off.
What about infrastructure generally in your constituency? You are the constituency that has the mountains, the beautiful mountains on which people have built.
Yeah.
So we are looking at a Sierra Leone on our hands, don't we?
Well, ordinarily, it shouldn't be,
Okay.
depending on how that whole mountain is treated. I think it's one of the beautiful places, or has a beautiful outlook when it's properly taken care of. And it has, I wouldn't mince words to say, it's one of the expensive areas in terms of infrastructure, individual buildings that you see there. The value of homes there, when you see, it will shock you. Kennedy Japan came to my 2020 final rally. He saw the houses there and he was shocked by the extent of houses there. But what has been the challenge is access roads in this area. And in an attempt to put up these houses there, people has really, really destroyed the vegetation of the area. The vegetation are meant for a particular purpose, to protect the vegetation and the hill there.
It's part of nature.
It's part of nature. They've mined it and they are still mining it. And what you see on the Accra-Winneba Road, anytime it rains at Atala and then Tuba Junction, is nothing but outcome. Yes, the outcome of human activities that they've destroyed, and they are still mining. When you mine and you destroy the vegetation, when it rains, the highway there has underground drainage. That when it rains, it should retain water and it goes through the under the road into the river. But now when it rains, it doesn't bring water; it brings silt. And the silt is deposited in the middle of the road.
So it covers the whole area.
It covers the whole area.
It's almost, whenever it rains, that the Kaswa to Accra side of the road is completely... so you have to use the other side. So vehicles have to use that.
I spent over 4 hours the last time in traffic trying to get home. And unfortunately, last year, in fact, when we're trying to clear the silt from the road, we cut 92 trips of 20 cubic trucks.
Just from the road?
Just from the road.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So it keeps washing down more and more.
Another place, from Tuba Junction to Tuba, you see a portion of the road is also suffering the same thing. A small amount of rain covers the entire place. It's all because of the sun-winning activities up the hill.
So the solution is from the assembly, not from you, or is beyond the assembly?
Part is from the assembly, because the assembly must be on surveillance, especially those who are still mining. I don't know what kind of permit, and I'm aware that the assembly have not given them any permit. Okay. But once you watch and look on concern, don't make the arrest. In law, there's something we call principle of acquiescence. If acquiesce, it means you are complicit.
So as a member of parliament, what can you do?
Well, I've gone to the police, I've had word with the assembly that they must make an arrest and prosecute them. Nobody has a right to mine that will affect the livelihood of the people in and around that place.
Finally, this one, I'm an advocate of dualization of our roads. The road to Kaswa has been dualized, and yet traffic to and fro Kaswa is a problem. People say that going to that area of Ghana is Lomnava. If you don't, you can't go.
Yeah, seriously.
What can be done to deal with your traffic situation in the mornings and then in the evening?
Yeah, seriously speaking, we need to have alternative routes to access the capital.
How? Because it's west and east. There's nowhere you can pass. What can you possibly pass?
I mean, when you look at Pambros, and there's a coastal road from Nyanyano that passes through Langwa. It goes through Bortianor, Kukrubite, and it can go through Pambros and hit Dansoman. So it can be an alternative route.
So there should be a beach road.
A beach road, so to speak. A beach road, so to speak, for residents in and around that place. So those traveling, there's a Trans-ECOWAS highway.
Yeah, it should not be bordered by traffic.
But I mean, the resident in the Gasau today is one of the biggest municipalities in Accra, and even the whole country in terms of its population. And then from there, you go to Utu Senya, East Kaswa. You can imagine. It goes all the way to Winneba. So people lives in Kaswa and work in Accra and go back every day. Commute between Kaswa and Accra. And some from Winneba. And so the population there is amazing. So if you are going to rely, and once there's a little interference in the flow of traffic, we are in trouble.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru, Sanda, and my guest is the MP for Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro, the Honorable Sylvester. Tetteh, we are discussing generally his concerns. Let's talk about the bigger picture now. Edromoso.
Edroneso.
Edromoso. No, Edromoso.
But there's only one person before the party benefits. So Edroneso and the party.
But you are part of you're not the party yet.
No, it's one man that stands for election and all of us support.
Support. So why are you supporting Alan Kyerematen?
He's a party person.
Explain that.
He's put himself up for election. Then, let me say good evening to Alan Kyerematen and the campaign team. I've not been to the campaign office today. I will go there from here. And my constituents and those who are listening to us, Alan Kyerematen is a Ghanaian politician for more than 4 decades. He's lived entire adult life for the MPP from its inception to where it is today. He's attempted to run for president in a couple of times. I've never supported Alan Kyerematen.
2007, you did not?
No, never. I've never supported him. I've been an apostle of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and everybody knows. And I haven't hidden that anywhere. But this election, he never invited me to support him. I drove to him and I said, look, Alan, this is your time. I will support you. I've looked at everything happening in this country, where the parties are at the crossroad and everything. I think is a person that can help us break the next 8, supposedly. So obviously, I think is a well-marketed candidate, well-mannered candidate. He's behaved himself politically. Is a candidate you really or find it difficult to find something against him. And above all, he's competent. He's proven. He has a track record in public service. And these are things we are looking for. He has shown in his area of expertise. He's a lawyer, an economist, a trade expert, an iconic one for that matter. So Ghana is blessed to have such a person to lead the MPP, and he's contributed his quota to the MPP. Every young person, including my good self, working for this party, we have an aspiration. That is why we let go everything and continue to work for this party. We hope that our hard work will be rewarded one day. And this man has laid his life for this party for all these years. And you think if he's contesting for election, it's a motivation to the teeming youth of this party and the masses of this country that let's support him. He has something to offer this country.
You have said that you were an apostle of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, yes, and now you have chosen to go to the Alan camp.
Nana Addo is not running for election
anymore. I know. So we don't know what his new camp is going to be. But the question is,
Nana Addo,
yes,
he's made it clear. And I was in
no problem. John Kufuor made it clear, but we still said Alan was in John Kufuor's camp.
No,
that's a public speech. I'm talking about that. Let me land with my question, then you can respond.
My question, I don't want to be drawn into you support Nana Addo and today. I know there's nothing like
my
that.
question is this: there is a view that a lot of Alan supporters are disgruntled Akufo-Addo supporters who are not happy that they've not been given appointments or had one issue or another with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's side of the MPP. You are a member of parliament representing the MPP, representing Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro. You've not been appointed by Akufo-Addo. Could that be the reason you decided, let me pay Akufo-Addo back by joining his former opponent?
You should have checked well.
Okay.
And I'm a typical example of to disabuse the minds of people who think so. I'm a member of parliament. Before I came to parliament, I was a chief executive at the National Youth Authority.
Yes.
In parliament today, I'm the board chairman of the Ghana Enterprises Agency.
GA.
I'm not bitter. I'm grateful to Nana Addo for the experience in public service.
You are not an appointee.
I am an appointee of the president.
You are not a minister deputy.
It doesn't matter. Who says if Alan Kyerematen becomes president today, he will appoint everybody as a minister? I know what governance is.
So you're not embittered. It's not you're not doing it out, even though that's the accusation against that all of you.
People have been in parliament for 4 terms, 3 terms. They are not even board members. And the president has found me wealthy to be made a board chairman of Ghana Enterprises Agency, and I think I should be bitter. I am not.
That's under Ministry of Trade.
Yes.
Maybe Alan
didn't.
Pushed an agenda.
Alan did. I said, I've never supported nor have met Alan before my appointment. Never. It has nothing to do with it.
You are
the authority to appoint to boards and the rest is reserved of the president. My letter was signed by the president.
You are a member of the Parliamentary Caucus, MPP Parliamentary Caucus.
Fantastic.
A few weeks ago, we heard that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had gone to meet the caucus and that over 100 of your colleagues said they were supporting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
But you see, when they do these things, at that meeting, who said a roll call was held and people said 100 of us are supporting Dr. Bawumia? It's a lie. These media gimmicks will not help MPP. I was there.
You were in the meeting.
He spoke for less than a minute. That he's declaring his support, that we should support him to win the flag bearership. And that was it. Before then, Koblen Jepon was there. No attendance and no hands were raised to count how many people are supporting him or otherwise. That's a fallacy.
The front bench people have been pushing for you to go that way, or they have left you to be free? Because at least your whip is an avowed Dr. Bawumia person. Has there been a decision by your leadership at the bench?
MPP is a democratic party that me, before I came to parliament, I had contested two elections. My third elections brought me to parliament. I was constituency secretary. I was a TESCOM president, TESCOM secretary. I've gone through the mail. I was a member of the National Council. I had managed a candidate who became a national chairman. I had managed a candidate who became a regional chairman. You think somebody can coerce me?
So there's nothing like that.
Nothing.
When Alan says a drone is so, or when you supporters of Alan say a drone is so,
Yes.
What does it mean? Are you saying that the party has some succession line and that it is its 10? Is that what you are saying?
No.
What are you saying?
When we say a drone is so, our party is a conservative party of tradition. And let me remind you of what happened in University of Ghana, 2007, when 17 aspirants battled for a single slot of a flag bearership of this party. Nobody had 50+1. And don't forget, NPP's primaries, you need 50+1 to be declared a winner. Anado, Alan Kyerematen were billed to go for the runoff. And Alan Kyerematen said, for party cohesion, unity of our party, he doesn't want to subject the party through another round of rigorous campaigning and all that. So he was conceding victory to Nanado. When Nanado mounted the podium, he said, for what Alan has done, just as President Kufuor told him that he'll be president after him, Alan, you will come after me. Everybody present in Legon clapped for him. But for us to say, yes, of course, we say that for what Alan has done for this party, it is fair for the party to reward him after Nanado. You know what would have caused the party if we had to subject ourselves to another rigorous round of campaign. And beyond that, Alan Kyerematen has shown competence, character, tenacity required of a leader. And I'm saying that put Alan Kyerematen to the test before the good people of this country. I doubt if anybody will pick a stone and throw at him.
There are about 10 people who are currently interested in the position that Alan is interested in. But we don't have to kid ourselves. The front runners will be Dr. Bawumia and maybe Kenneth Japon, whose name has come up strongly. Dr. Bawumia, if you talk about competence, he is the one possibly who has introduced the word competence in our political, area where he was accusing former President Mahama of incompetence and all of that. He has shown in the Supreme Court brightly. He's been described as the economic whiz-kid of your party. He's been seen as a guy who drove the campaign of 2016.
What did he show at the Supreme Court?
He's shown.
He showed what?
Then
we should go for the lawyer who led the party to Supreme Court and a petitioner. Nanado was a petitioner. But he was a co-petitioner. What did he show?
So he was the one in the
showed
box.
What? He showed what?
He was the one in the box.
Were you expecting me to be in a box? I don't want to discuss Dr. Bawumia. He's a friend and a father.
Yes.
Dr. Bawumia is a leader. I respect him
I'm just trying to put the adjective you use for Alan.
I'm discussing Alan. Let's discuss Alan.
Okay.
I don't want to.
But you're going against Bawumia.
I'm not against Bawumia. I'm supporting Alan. I'm not going against Bawumia.
What I mean is that Alan is going against him.
Alan is not going against him.
They are going in a
Bawumia
contest.
is not holding the flag, and nobody is going against anybody.
So okay, they are going against each other.
They are not going against. They are going for the slot.
Fine. The one
nobody is going against anybody.
Are you not considering the strengths and weaknesses of your opponent?
I am not doing that here. When I meet the delegate, I'll do so.
So you're not interested in attacking your opponent?
What is the essence of doing that?
Today.
And by the special grace of God, Alan will be the winner. When Alan wins, Alan needs Dr. Bawumia more than me to win the national elections. So why should I attack Dr. Bawumia? If Alan wins today, he needs Kwabena Japon more than me. If Alan wins today, he needs Kenneth Japon more than me. If he wins today, he needs his contemporaries.
So there will be no attack from your side?
What for? I don't do that kind of politics. It's not necessary. It's not healthy. Why should I sit on Citi FM and be running down somebody?
You rather project your own?
I'll project my own. I'm not interested. What I'm interested in, what Alan Kyerematen brings to the table.
Let's talk about what he brings to the table. Under President John Kufuor, he was in charge of presidential special initiatives on cassava and a number of those things. Under Kufuor, he's in charge of Ministry of Trade. He was supposed to ensure we have a warehouse in each district. Your district, Gas South, is there a warehouse there?
No, don't forget. He never said every district. There's particular district.
One district, one warehouse. That was a campaign.
That particular project was under the Ministry of Special Initiatives.
No Ministry of Trade?
No.
Warehouses?
Yes.
Are you sure warehouses?
The warehouses were constructed at the Ministry of Special Initiatives.
So it's not trade?
No.
Okay.
Yes,
So
get it right.
What
right.
is his track record as a Minister of Trade?
For Alan Kyerematen, I've made a statement. It's running that all the deliverables, tangibles, all the tangibles you can take to the next elections were tangibles delivered by Alan Kyerematen. The automobile bill, he supervised it. And today, most of the Suzuki, Uber cars you see in today is a handiwork of Alan Kyerematen.
Okay.
One district, one factory. Over 126 factories have been delivered across this country. Nobody can mount an MPP platform and will not be referring to one district, one factory.
Is there one factory in your district?
There is. Today,
in Gassau?
Yes, today they supported me and supplied sanitary pads to 1,800 pupils of Nasek Secondary School. And they are doing same for Christian Methodists. Produced right there in my constituency.
What was the name of the factory?
Sanda.
And what did they produce? What
they produce sanitary pads and other sanitary.
And they are new. They are not an existing company.
It's a 1D1 project
in your
district.
Okay. What other things are you going to? You are going to use Free Senior High School to campaign as well, won't you? And that's also attributed to Alan Kyerematen.
Did I say so?
No, I'm just asking. Because you
did
said
I say so?
No, you said the key things you be campaigning.
I said tangibles.
Free SHS is a key
tangibles. Please.
Okay.
I'm not running down anybody. You mentioned Alan Kyerematen. No. If that's where you want to go,
no,
please.
No.
Don't set me up against anyone.
No, I'm
saying most of the tangibles.
Okay, not all
tangibles.
Of it. But I'm looking at free.
I didn't say everything. Did Alan Kyerematen run everything?
Free SHS is a key tangible.
But who says free SHS is not important? You asked me about Alan Kyerematen.
Okay.
And I've begun telling you
about
the things Alan Kyerematen has done.
Please continue. Add after to it.
Yes, after. It's part of it.
Yes.
But let me remind you. Ghana Enterprises Agency. You know it was National Board for Small Scale Industry.
Are you looking to change name like you always do?
We don't only change name. I'm telling you, look at the 2023 budget. 580,000 small, medium enterprises have been supported through the rebranding of NBSSI. We had partnership with World Bank, MasterCard, be giving grant training. I know one of the key things Alan Kyerematen did, Ghana Enterprises Agency, today, 67 business resource centers has been built around this country. You know what it does? One-stop shop for business modeling and development in this country. To be able to support one district, one factory, to help people, branding, marketing, be able coaching, and even business processes, training are done in this country. Unprecedented, 67 of them, one-stop shops in this country, and it's still counting.
Okay, so those are his positives. Since 2012, our general elections have been mainly dominated by corruption. In 2024, our election is going to be dominated by the economy.
Right.
As a minister for trade,
yes,
he is a key guy.
Fantastic.
For a party that has said we are going to move from taxation to production. He should take the blame and the fall for the failures of the economy currently. No. Why not?
Alan Kyerematen is only managing a subset.
It's a huge subset.
Oh,
trade is a big subset.
Please. No problem. But in this country, in the face of global crisis and all the global challenges, we recorded trade surplus in this country under Alan Kyerematen, where all other sectors were going down.
No problem. But all of that notwithstanding, the economy is under
but
the
I'm
ground.
telling you, if you look at financials and then the tangibles of trade, production, factors of production and all that, when COVID came, we were not importing. We were relying on what he did with GEA to support small, medium businesses in this country to meet our demands in this country. That is huge and significant. So you cannot say the entire economy is about trade. No, he played his part. That is why he's seeking to be the overall boss of the entire economy, where he can supervise the entire economy.
Okay.
So he's played his role. What you gave Alan Kyerematen, based on the president's vision, he's delivered. And the man who gave him the job outside, he has done so excellently. And we are seeing that.
So the non-production that we're witnessing and the high taxation we are seeing should not be blamed.
What has taxation got to do with production? He doesn't
your party's
determine the taxation.
He
doesn't determine the taxation.
But he is supposed to ensure we have a lot of production.
The issue of taxation does not depend on a trade minister.
No, if there's
please
production,
get it right.
No,
get it right.
I understand, but I'm saying that
situate it in that
tax.
So please.
But Ken will bring the tax because Alan has failed to produce.
Who said so?
That's the principle. It's
who
simple.
Said so?
If there's production, there will be no taxation.
That if you fail to produce, you don't tax.
If you don't
tax.
Yes.
What kind of principle is that?
Are you producing enough to prevent us from taxing?
Please. What principle is that?
That's a principle, simple principle which you campaigned on.
No.
That we are going to stop taxation because we are going to produce. And I'm saying that the production is an aspect under Alan Kyerematen. That production is failing. That's why we are seeing taxation.
So the government policy of taxation is dependent on the fact that we haven't been able to produce.
Is it not?
No.
What is it dependent on?
How does production? Even under Alan Kyerematen, when we came, the first thing we did, and the government did, was to reduce the corporate income tax for companies to come down, to be able to support companies to produce more. That notwithstanding, you look at balance of payment in this country, our debt portfolio, the challenge we have, the Citi, when the Citi have gone up to about 17, today Citi is about 12%. It even affects production. It even affects production. So you should look at that side of the equation and don't say because we not produce enough, then there's more taxation.
We need to go, but I think we'll just ask you one last question on the industrialization aspect. Yes. So it's trade and industry.
Right.
How has it done in terms of industry?
Industrialization is what I told you.
The vehicles?
No, not the vehicles.
Okay.
There is industrial parks that are set for industrial revolution. You need to look at free zones. More free zones companies have been registered on operation under this regime more than ever. And the essence is that you need to create industrial hubs, industrial parks to be able to support our industrialization drive, to be able to deal with businesses, not to fight over land litigation and all those things. Before he left office, there's a Greater Kumasi Industrial Park that was signed to be built, biggest ever in the West African sub-region. It's part of his achievement. So clearly, for Alan Kyerematen, his delivery and what he has done, if you give him the bigger job, I believe this economy will turn around.
We wish you all the best on the campaign and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my brother.
That's
I'm grateful for the time. And then let me greet him once again. And let me thank the Queen Mothers who picked this form for him today. We didn't talk about Alan Kyerematen's form.
Are you sure that one is not for the cameras?
But before, when the man went to KJT market, when the market was gutted, the women promised him that we will come and pick a form for you and campaign for you to become president. That's what they did.
That's like Tetteh or Sylvester Tetteh, Member of Parliament, Bortianor, Ngleshie, Amanfro, member of the Alan Kyerematen campaign.